Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a continuation of the last video that I posted a few days ago, which was on how to write an excellent personal statement in 1 hour. I'm going to leave that video somewhere on the screen so that you can go and check it out if you haven't yet watched it. So today's video is more of a practical version in which I'll be reading one of my personal statements that I wrote a few years back for an academic institution in Belgium. I did get the admission into the master's program, but I decided to turn it down in order to go for the Chevening scholarship. So I'm going to be using my phone where I will read what I wrote and try to explain to you what was going through my mind at the time that I was writing this personal statement. I hope this is something that you're interested in, so please stay tuned. I started this personal statement with an introduction. In the introduction, I stated the problems that I see in the community and why these problems or challenges have inspired me to apply for a master's program. So this was my introduction. Despite different development interventions, poverty still remains a fundamental challenge in Cameroon due to inadequate governance, gender inequality, traditional laws repugnant to justice and social transformation, just to name a few. The presence of such challenges motivates me to apply for a scholarship to study a Master's in Governance and Development Policy at IOB. I'm convinced that this program will reform and empower me to influence development policy in Cameroon, advocate for good governance, and facilitate capacity building of vulnerable communities for sustainable development. So that was my introduction. I kind of picked out because the Master's was on governance and development. So you can see that I did talk about identify a problem in the area of governance and development in Cameroon, where I come from, and then state that these problems were not a demoralizing factor for me. They were instead things that encouraged me to want to study so that I can be equipped with the right skills to address them in my country. The next paragraph, I created a link between my previous academic degree and the current application that I was making. So this is what I basically said. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in women and gender studies. During the 4-year dual degree program, I was provided with a holistic perspective of gender mainstreaming and transparency as a strategic poverty reduction tool and a prerequisite for good governance and sustainable development. My undergraduate research, basically, I just said that my undergraduate research, which I did, showed evidence that corruption within the justice system in Cameroon is an incentive for crime and insecurity. I also went ahead to say that while I was doing my undergraduate research, I decided to initiate a project at the Boya Central Prison to rehabilitate female prisoners for reintegration and employment after incarceration. So this is basically how I created a link between my bachelor's degree and the master's that I was applying for. Remember, in the previous video, I kept saying that it is important to create a link between what you have been doing and what you want to do, so that it doesn't just look strange or weird that you're just jumping from a different field and then you're applying for something different. It shows them that you are passionate about it and you've taken action to demonstrate this passion. In the third paragraph, I showed the school why the course is important to me and how it would help address the challenges that I identified in my introduction. I am overly interested in the course outline offered by IOB, such as theories of development, governance for development, conflict, local governance, and poverty reduction. So basically, I had gone to the website, read the course outlines, look at the different modules that were being offered by the school, so that the school will know that I have done my work, my groundwork. I know what I'm talking about. So I did list some of the modules in the different courses that I found very interesting for me and that I felt that were necessary for me to study in order for me to be equipped with the skills to go back and address poverty in Cameroon. I also said that I would like to enhance my knowledge on conflict management, because one of the courses that were being offered were on conflict, local governance, and poverty reduction. So I added that prior to this application, I was working with an international organization where I had the opportunity to work with refugees from Central Africa and those from northern Nigeria running from the Boko Haram insurgents. So I was saying that I have had the opportunity to work in a crisis environment, and I feel that this course is going to further equip me with the skills, especially theoretically, academically, to know how to further support communities that are affected by crisis. In the next paragraph, I showed how my experience, my work experience and ability to take initiative makes me a better candidate. So there was an introduction. There was the paragraph where I did talk about, I create a link between my previous academic degree and the current one. Then the next paragraph, I showed them why the course is important to me and how it will help address the problems that I have listed in the introduction. Now, I went on to show how, emphasis here being on how my work experience and ability to take initiatives make me a better candidate for the program. So I said that over the last 5 years, as at the time that I was writing the application, the personal statement, over the last 5 years, I've worked with vulnerable communities across Africa and Europe as a youth worker, an emerging gender and development researcher, and a communication for development officer. So I went on now to give jobs that I have occupied or positions that I have occupied, such as I've been a public relations and communication assistant, a communication officer in conflict zone, in which I was designing advocacy and public actions which engage governments and local communities in promoting the rights of children in Cameroon. Then I went on to say that in 2010 to 2011, I was a volunteer with an organization in Cameroon where I worked on a UNICEF-funded project providing quality health care, educational and psychosocial support to over 600 orphans and vulnerable children in the southwest region of Cameroon. Then in 2012, I was selected for the European Voluntary Service in Brussels, where I had the opportunity to participate in a project where we researched poverty in different countries such as Cameroon, Senegal, Spain, Belgium, etc. We produced a documentary highlighting the challenges faced by young immigrants in Europe and developed educational material on poverty and youth unemployment. In the next paragraph, I did talk about extracurricular activities, leadership skills, awards, and recognitions that I've had as a result of my work and my contribution towards poverty alleviation initiatives in Cameroon, Africa, and other continents where I've worked. I did talk about the organizations that I've worked with where I was a board member. I talked about awards that I've received from different national and international institutions. And finally, in the conclusion, I said that the opportunity to study at your prestigious university is a unique one, which I believe will enable me to provide the much needed change and development in my country. It will also empower me to realize my great ambition of becoming a governance and development researcher at PhD level. So basically, guys, that was how I approached that personal statement. As you can see, it's not complicated. It was very easy and straight to the point. I hope that you did enjoy this video if you have been watching up to this point. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, to like, share, comment, and continue to tell me if the contents that I'm putting out are the kind of content that you would love to see on this channel. Until we meet again, guys, please don't forget to create some impact. You and me.